Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast. Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Brandon Edenfield. Brandon Edenfield is the Global Managing Director of Application Modernization for Modern Systems, an advanced company. Previously, Brandon was in the role of Executive Director in the Application Modernization Division of Dell Services. In this role, he was responsible for developing and delivering services and solutions to help customers reduce the cost of transitioning business-critical applications and data from legacy computing systems onto modern architectures, including the cloud. Brandon has been working in the open, distributed, and legacy IT systems community for more than 28 years and is an industry-recognized thought leader in enterprise application migration and modernization. Well, good afternoon, Brandon. Welcome to the show.
Well, hi, Brian. Thanks for having me.
You bet, Brandon. I'm excited about getting into this and asking you some of these questions. So, Brandon, you've got quite a career in technology and executive leadership. Could you share with our audience the secret to your career growth?
Well, I think that I just have been a CIO when I was young. I got very fortunate to run into a person who just believed that hard work was a very important thing. And he gave me some opportunities that I probably didn't deserve at that age, but I took advantage of them and then somehow ended up in this modernization space legitimately in my late 20s, early on Wang 2200s, to be clear. That was a long time ago.
Sure.
I've been in this space for a very long time. And I've just been very fortunate to have a really, really good team around me. And we've really never failed at a project, which always helps your career, right?
Sure.
So I've been doing this for over 30 years. I had a company called Clarity Solutions. We sold it to Dell back in 2012, doing mainly mainframe migrations off IBMs. Then I was the CEO of Modern Systems before we sold it to Advance in July of last year. And now I run AppMod for the combined organization. Fortunately, now we're in a much bigger company with a good financial background, and it's very exciting.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate that, especially the stories of people starting out early in their career and, moving up that either entrepreneur ladder or corporate ladder. It's always good to hear their stories. So, Brandon, as you know, everybody globally has had to make shifts to adapt to the new normal during this pandemic. Could you share with us what you're doing to adjust and stay relevant in this economy?
So I think the good thing for us is we have a kind of a generic offering that's needed even more now than it was before. Our projects are helping people become more agile, which I think in this space is very, very relevant now. And we save a lot of money when you remove these legacy platforms and move into the new world. I think that's part of the reason people are moving in. And I think we've just become more relevant by the needs that are happening in the things that are going on now. Our projects are a lot of times done remotely. We don't put, hundreds of people on site to do projects with a customer. We combine our specialized skills with the people a lot of times they already have on staff. And we've been a remote kind of project-oriented company for a long time. So I think we've been very fortunate that our business fits this model, I guess, by just accident, because we've always been doing it. I don't know if you read about it before, but the state of New Jersey, they had a 1,600% increase in the unemployment claims, and they needed to do something. And the systems just weren't there to meet the needs. They just were too non-agile, if that's a phrase. And so things like what we do are being, more in demand every day.
Thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. So, Brandon, since you work in the application modernization space, could you maybe share with us any new or emerging technologies you're leveraging today?
So again, the things that we do is we try to conform mostly to what a customer's standards are. So in the past, in our space, at least in the modernization space, mostly in converting languages to cloud native type environments, a lot of the older technologies would just basically say, look, I can move you from A to B, but B is what it is. You don't get to choose. And the new market is not like that. I mean, people have so many different technologies that they choose. And every time we get honed in on one, it changes to a different one. The technology is moving at such a rapid pace that it's very difficult to know even which one is correct, and each organization has something different. So our solutions all tailor themselves to what the client needs. If they're going to, for example, an Azure cloud versus AWS cloud versus Google cloud, each one of those is going to have a different technology stack, and our offering adapts to those stacks. But if you look more specifically, DevOps and digital transformations taking a foothold in the space, microservices, serverless computing, they're growing in popularity. The cloud as a destination is now a default rather than an exception. We just did a survey with a number of legacy users, and I was a little surprised. Over 90%, maybe even over 95% of those people said the cloud as a destination is the major reason. So we're seeing prospects exploring new networking technologies, zero trust in the cloud, hybrid, multi-cloud environments. So there's a whole, we could probably go through 5 customer case studies, and there would be differences, commonalities for sure, but they would all have something different.
Yeah, no, that's great. I appreciate that. We're always learning something new on this podcast. And the great thing is, Brandon, I get to share your story out with my global audience. So everybody gets to learn and share on this particular podcast. So thank you. Brandon, this is the big question. Everybody wants to know more about you. We talked a little bit about your career, but can you share something from your career experience that would be helpful for those looking to grow their career in technology or leadership?
So mine's going to be a little odd answer, I think, to what most people would say. I've had a very blessed career when it comes to getting opportunities. I did the entrepreneurial career, so I didn't have the big corporate structure where I'm moving up in that, and so mine was a little bit different. I think for me, integrity is a huge thing in growing your career, right? If you give more than what you get in any kind of a business, I found that that's served me very, very well. And I guess in our specific space in IT, I think leadership is a key word now, truly the word leadership. So in IT now, because things are changing so rapidly, it's even hard for us with our background to keep up with what the new technology is, what's good, what's bad. And so can you imagine what a business executive has to do when he's listening to us try to convince them to spend their money on what we need? So I think communication is very, very important now in our space. You need to be able to communicate in English, not in technology talk, to these business executives, and you need to be passionate. They need to know that you care, and they need to feel what you're trying to do and make it personal. Technology, to me, technological competence is not enough anymore. You need to be able to communicate and help the business colleagues understand in a way they can relate to and make the right decision. To me, it's been a very personal journey, and I think sometimes we forget that part of it. So I hope that wasn't too corny, but that's kind of what I feel is a very important part of growing in a career.
Absolutely, Brandon. I do appreciate those insights and as well as our global audience. So, Brandon, I just want to thank you. It was a pleasure having you on today, and I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Thanks very much, Brian.
Bye for now.